1973, I was living 200 miles back from the ocean in the jungle, and I was shocked by electricity at a very high amperage shock, and as a result I could not breathe. I knew I was dying. I became paralyzed, and within minutes my wife, my children, the Bible school students from our mission were all there, and many other people. And I became paralyzed, but right before I became paralyzed, I told my wife I could barely talk. And I told my wife that I loved her and asked my children to live for the Lord and told them that I was dying. I knew I was dying. And then I became paralyzed. I could not even move a finger. And at that time, my hearing intensified greatly. I could hear people whispering. But the presence of God came upon me in a way like I'd never experienced before in my life. It was so wonderful that I lay there, and I thought all of my life I've wondered how it would be to die. And now here it is, and it's the most wonderful thing I've ever experienced. The time was beyond any words that I can say. I can only use the word beautiful. And then I could feel my spirit leaving my body. It was like I could feel a separation coming with spirit and body. And then all of a sudden, as this was happening, and I believe I was looking with my spirit at that time, and up at about a 45-degree angle was what I felt was the Lord standing there looking at me and waiting upon me. He was dressed in a white robe, and I wanted to go on to be with Him. I had no desire to stay in this world except one thing. And I spoke to Jesus and I said, Lord, I'm ready to meet you, but people are going to hell, and I pray that you'll give me a little longer to preach. I felt that what He called me to do was unfinished, and that was more important to me than going on to be in heaven, which I really wanted to do. And He spoke back to me and just said, I will give you a little longer. And immediately, I would say within a tenth of a second, I came back with my body, and I went from paralyzed, not being able to breathe, to being able to breathe, and I started shouting as loud as I could shout. O death, where's thy sting? O grave, where's thy victory? I said, I came to the edge of death, and I've looked in, and there's nothing but glory in Jesus Christ. The field leader drove me 200 miles through the jungle. There was a really top heart specialist there named Dr. Shingler. He gave me a series of tests and found that my heart was perfect, but he said my heart had been knocked out of rhythm into fibrillation and that I should have died. 3 times he told me I should have died. And I know that today, but I know my God is able to do anything, and He's able to bring a person back from death. And I'm a person that wants to declare to the world that He is Lord, and He can bring us back from the edge of death. And the wonderful thing is, I'm getting up in years, but I've had some different heart tests, and the doctors say my heart is about 30 or 35 years younger than I am physically. So I thank the Lord for the strength He's given me, and who He is, and what He is able to do.
How old are you now?
I'm 77.
77. How long, do you know when you were out? How long were you out? Did your wife tell you? Or?
This happened within seconds. It was like my spirit was leaving my body, and right as I was like separating, instantly, no delay, instantly, there the Lord was. And at that time I spoke to Him, and the thing was, I didn't have to speak to Him with my mouth. I knew that I spoke to Him with my thought. It was like I knew that, and I just spoke to Him instantly. the people were going to hell and asking him for a little longer to preach. And instantly he gave me those words, I'll give you a little longer, and I came back together. So.